Oh, we'll start sitting. That's something to depend on. Okay, so sitting comfortably, long spine. So just starting to slow down our breathing and sort of elongate the breath. Your eyes soft or closed, whatever's comfortable, but we'll slowly draw the air all the way down, letting the belly relax. Then letting the air up and out, and allowing the shoulders to relax, jaw, the tongue, brow. You'd like to add just a gentle mula bandha on the exhale, can always help to lift the energy. So on our exhale, we would just tighten the muscles around the perineum gently to help lift the energy. Relax on the inhale. Maybe allowing a little space between the inhale and the exhalation. Just a little pause. Just coming into our body, letting our mind relax. And then bringing our fingers to our heart area. As we continue to breathe, just gently tap around the heart, around the chest. Then bringing our hands up to our head, we can gently massage our scalp. Allowing our brain to come online and also stimulating all those channels that run through our head. And then bringing our hands to our ears and doing a little massage there. Just pulling, squeezing. And then we can bring our fingers, one in each ear, gently pull down and hold for a breath. Good. And then bringing our arms out from our shoulders. Let our spine move a little bit by reaching forward. And then bringing our arms back and lifting the heart. Gently moving the spine. Letting it wave. And then letting our arms come down by our side. We can bring our feet out in front of us into a butterfly. You might have a pillow under your legs if you like, something to bolster and relax the knees. And we'll just come forward, relax forward over the legs here, letting our hips relax. If you like, you can also give your feet a little massage. little bit of attention. There's all of our organs and our meridians, channels. The lower body ones are in the feet, start or end in the feet. Our organs are connected to our feet. Nice to just give our feet a little massage. So just allowing the breath to be full and regular. Just letting our mind rest on our breath. Nice stretch in our sacrum, and this pose is also a really good stretch for the gallbladder channel. So go ahead and press yourself up from there using the hands to up and lift the knees. And we will bring our right leg out to the side and our left foot in toward the right thigh. And if you need a bolster under the left knee, or if this is not comfortable for you or bothers your knee, you can always just extend the leg out as well if you prefer that. So the half butterfly, we want to make sure our pelvis is not tilted back, right? It's upright or even slightly forward is okay. And we're going to twist toward the right leg. So here we're coming into a forward fold and a twist. We want to make sure our pelvis is not tilted back. And then just start to come forward over that leg and relax here. Also a really good pose for the gallbladder channel. Right? The gallbladder channel is nice and stretched in this particular asana. The gallbladder is the yang side of the pair. The liver is the yin side. So they are in charge of our personal motivation and action, decision making. Liver and the gallbladder. The gallbladder meridian starts at the outer corner of the eye. It branches into two lines. One stays at the surface, winding back and forth along the side of the head, and then goes down along the side of the neck, passing the top of the shoulder, going under the arm, And then it kind of zigzags alongside outside area of the rib cages down to the hips. Other branch goes inside the cheek, where it then descends to the liver and the gallbladder. And it continues down to rejoin the other branch at the front of the hip. You want to add a little bit more stretch, you can always bring your left arm back and kind of rotate your torso forward and either leave your arm here or bring it over this way or extended, whatever feels good to you. You can add a little more stretch and for whatever amount of time, or just stay relaxed over your leg. So once the two branches join in the front of the hip, the single line runs along the outside of the thigh to the outside of the ankle, and then across the top of the foot till it reaches the fourth toe. And another branch goes from the top of the foot across the top of the foot to join the liver channel at the big toe. Or since we're stretching over our right leg, we're also stretching and activating the bladder channel that runs, the urinary bladder channel that runs up the back of our leg as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to use our hands to press up to sitting, coming out slowly. If this is bent, you can lift the leg and bring your legs in front and move them in whatever way feels good to you. Shake or a windshield wiper. And then we'll come to the other side. So extending our left leg out to the side and bringing our right foot in. This time I'll try to remember to use my timer. Again, if you need a pillow, make sure the pelvis is not tilted back. Just finding that pose that works for you, right? We find our own asana here. And then turning towards your left leg, relaxing here. Just letting the torso relax without forcing the stretch, right? Gravity is our friend. And then eventually we might be invited to go deeper into the pose. Sometimes when the mind gets ahead, it thinks, oh, this is the pose, and therefore I'm going to get right into it. Whereas if we just allow our body to relax, we're bringing our awareness inside and noticing what's happening, noticing the feelings, the sensations, body response. Finding our edge. In yoga, there's actually, they talk about the doctrine of the three bodies. So we really have three bodies. There's, of course, the obvious one, the physical body, or the gross. I like to refer to it as material body, where our physical senses are located, and obviously we can see it. Then there's the next level of body, which is called the subtle body. More of a felt body where the vital functions reside, and our intuition, our inner sense of ourselves. It's also called the astral body, and it's where our mind is considered to reside, the intellect and the nadis, or the energy channels. If you want to add a little more stretch, of course, you can bring your right arm back and turn to face forward, extending the arm over the head if that's comfortable for you, or just stay relaxing over the leg, whatever feels good to you here. So the subtle body is our aura body around the physical. 1.5 times bigger than larger than the physical body. When the subtle body becomes small, it becomes smaller than the physical body, is when there can be the a sense of anxiety or being very restless, maybe feeling miserable or just not mentally stable. Right? The mind has become shrunk to too small of a place. There's too much attention on the physical level, and the subtle body doesn't get what it needs. And then beyond the next level of the subtle body is the causal body, beyond the mind and the consciousness, which in yoga is said to only be experienced through deep introspection. Only reach it when we're very still and going inside and being deeply introspective. It's the doorway to the higher levels of consciousness associated with our dreamless sleep, samadhi. And when the subtle body and the causal body merge completely, coherence on all levels, said to liberate us, right? We are liberated, or there's enlightenment, or a feeling of bliss. That understanding that we're one with the universe, that sense of oneness with everything. Okay, so we can start to slowly come up from there. Yeah. Taking our time to come out, and then bringing the legs out in front. Move around. It feels good, and we'll come into to Dragonfly, so a straddle, where you start as wide as it's comfortable for your legs and your knees, and then coming forward. Obviously, you can change the straddle as needed. And just letting your arms relax forward. Have a bolster under your arms if you want, or just resting them on the floor. So the ways that we can cleanse our three bodies, or our three levels, are through doing yoga asanas. That's one way, which was what we're doing right now. Proper nutrition, pranayama, breath work, meditation, positive thinking, truthfulness, contentment, charity, selfless work, and self-realization. Obviously, drinking good quality water is very important to any kind of cleansing on any level. Make sure we get enough water. We are largely made up of water. Okay, so we can go ahead and start to press ourselves up from here. And then lean back and let the legs slide together. Move them around. If you want to bring your hands behind your hips and maybe lift the hips up and down a few times. Then we'll come around to our belly. The Sphinx. Well, let's start in infant pose. So arms alongside the body, and we'll just lift the chest and shoulders and head, reach back, pull the shoulders back. We can engage all of our back muscles here. And then bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, maybe letting your body move around side to side. You might like to lift our head and get a little stretch in the front of the neck as kind of a counter pose to all that forward folding, a little compression in the back of the neck. Always feels so good to come into Sphinx after being a long time in forward fold poses. I think it's for me. And then if you want to, of course, you can lift your feet. You can add any variations to Sphinx that you like. You can also hold on to your leg and bring it closer to you to get more stretch in the front of the leg and hip. That's an option. We always want to listen to our bodies, kind of feel what it needs today. And then let's take a short break and half frog by sliding our left knee up toward our left shoulder, sliding our right arm underneath left arm and reaching that arm so we get a nice stretch in the back of our shoulder and just letting the head relax on top of your arm and then sliding our left leg back down, and we can slide our right arm through. We'll come into Sphinx or Seal for a couple more minutes, whether you want to stay in Sphinx or just widen the arms a bit and straighten them for Seal. Also lift pelvis off the ground for a little more intense version of seal. Put a pillow underneath the pelvis. Feel free to move in and out of any of the variations as it feels right for you. Anybody ever approaches you or you talking to them about yin and they're saying, oh, that's the easy yoga. You can say, okay, here's a little challenge for you. Bring them into seal pose and have them stay there for 3 to 5 minutes. See what they say. If you are up in seal, start to make your way down to Sphinx gradually. And we can come into a half frog on the right side and slide our left arm, reach that arm through, relaxing the head on the hand. And then let's slide our right leg down and slide our left arm back out. And bring ourselves up onto our knees. And Or if you can't be on your knees, find another position where you can move your spine and just curling the tailbone under, rounding the back. Maybe you'd like to press the hips back toward the heels a little bit and then lift up. Let your spine arch, moving slowly and gently between that rounding, arching. We can circle our hips and just let our body go however it wants to here. Spiral or circle and spiral around. And the other direction. And before we sit back into child's pose, from this position on our knees, we're going to put our elbows on the ground and out in front, in line with the shoulders, and then bring the head down. And hands together over on top of the head if you're able to. So we get a stretch underneath our shoulders. And if you need to be sitting for this, you can't be on your knees, you can always just lift your arm and stretch your elbow, pull your elbow back and up, right? Like if you're scratching your back, right? And lift the elbow that way. And then just straighten your arms out over your head and bring yourself up. And then we'll sit back into child's pose. Or if you need to be on your back, you can come into a happy baby. And of course, if your arms are stretched over your head in child's pose, you continue to get that stretch under the shoulders. That's comfortable. Under the arms, top of the arm. Okay, so we can start to come out from our child's pose or happy baby. Come onto your back, hug your knees. And just come into a little, little ball. Curl up, move around, whatever feels good to you. You might like to stir your legs too and just kind of let the legs relax into the hip socket if that feels good. Back. And then we're going to cross our right leg over our left with your knees stacked. And grab hold of the the calf or the ankle or the feet, wherever for you. And just kind of maybe a little higher up to pull the legs in towards you. And then maybe curl the head up to the knees. And kind of make a little ball here. And then just letting your head relax, continue to pull the legs in towards you. Feel stretch, particularly in the right outer lateral hip area, the leg that's on top. Yeah. Then you might like to have a bolster or a pillow on the left side, and we'll guide our legs over to the left. And this is twisted roots. So your right arm can extend out from the right shoulder and we'll support our legs. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can choose a different version of a twist as well. You need to. There's lots of ways to do a supine twist. We can use our right hand to maybe help guide that right leg back up and then the left leg back up onto our back here. You have bolsters that you want to move to the other side and just hug the knees, rock the body, whatever feels good to you. Then we'll stack our left leg on top, our right leg. Grab hold of the lower part of the leg. You can start by curling your head towards your knees and just kind of pulling the legs toward your head. More stretch there in that left outer hip, especially. Then letting our head relax. Continue to pull those knees in and close as you can. And we can start to guide the legs over to the right. Maybe adjust your hips if they need adjustments you need to make in your body. Extending the left arm out, making sure our legs are supported somehow. And of course, if a different version of the twist works better for you, feel free to do a different version, whether that's just uncrossing your legs or sliding your bottom leg down the mat. Finding what twist works best if that twisted roots doesn't feel good to your back or your hips. We're at that halfway point, cross quarter time between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, called Groundhog Day in the United States, but known as Imbolc. And it's that time when we start to feel the first stirrings of spring, just the beginning stirrings of spring energy coming in. Start to see the crocuses come up. It's also a time of purification. Twists are a particularly good thing to do at this time of year, to help cleanse and purify those organs. A twist and staying there for a length of time. Allowing our breath to move the energy through our system, through our body. Kind of a delicate time of year, fragile. Of course, we might get a hint about what the weather's going to be doing this year. And a little bit of a window into the future. So if you'd like to stay a little bit longer in the twist, feel free to do so, or you can start to come slowly onto your back. And any movement that feels good to you, if you hug your knees or circle your legs or roll to a ball. Just coming onto the back in a comfortable way for you for a minute or two to integrate as we breathe fully and evenly. You might like a bolster under your head or your ribs or your hips, whatever feels good to you. We'll breathe and just notice how we feel. And notice how our breath is. Notice how our mind is. Maybe feeling a little bit of energy moving through our whole body, through those channels. Speaking of the cross-quarter time between winter and spring, you might feel a little bit more tingliness. I heard an interesting, I don't know if it's a quote, but somebody said recently that really caught my attention. The world isn't getting darker or worse. The veil sheltering us from reality is lifting. Good perspective to have. So you may continue to lie down or get up slowly if you like. And thank you all for coming today. I will go ahead